The Supermotocross finale from Las Vegas is officially here, and we got to talk about our predictions. But first, if you guys enjoy this, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section below, as well as leaving a like on this video. And I also want to do a t-shirt giveaway to anybody that correctly predicts the 450 podium. It'll be a first come, first serve basis, so make sure you guys comment down below as soon as possible. You guys will either get a exhibit t-shirt or a wax racing t-shirt, whichever one you guys prefer. All right, let's get back into this. Let's talk about this insane track that they designed. And I think this is my favorite one out of the three. I really like how they're incorporating outside of the drag strip for the motocross section. I feel like it's going to open it up a lot more. I'm really just hoping that it gets kind of like a motocross roughness to it. That's what I'm really hoping. But inside of the drag strip, it's going to be a supercross feel. I mean, there's two different rhythm sections. There's a potential whoop section way up top after the supercross triple. I could potentially see that being into rollers, so it's not like high of a risk. But I'm really just hoping that this track allows for great racing, because we do have that three-way battle for the championship, and I want to see close racing. I want to see it go down to the wire. I'm really hoping that this track allows for that. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about it. I have some like live photos from it, so shout out to Lay Big USA. Here's a couple like work in progress photos. This is like that back section before going outside of the stadium, and this is the other side of the stadium. We also have a video from Racer X showing off the track here, the work in progress. The one thing I kind of like is the dirt difference between outside the stadium and inside the stadium. It looks a little bit more darker, so I don't know where they're picking that dirt up, or they're just maybe super watering it so it's like super rough. I'm not quite sure, but you can see the sand section. It's not that big of a sand section compared to what the track map shows, but that should still be interesting. It is kind of long. And then you come back into the stadium over here. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the track. I'm really hoping that it provides for some great racing. Now let's talk about our predictions, and let's start us off with the fastest qualifier. And for me personally, I can't root against him. It's going to be Deegan. I don't think he's going to be like 0.6 faster this week compared to last week over Joe. Don't be surprised though to see like Levi Kitchen battling it out right there with Deegan for the top spot, or maybe even Joe too. I can kind of see those three guys like maybe going back and forth for the top spot. But if I had to choose, I'm going with the boy Deegan. Okay, so let's hop over to the LCQ race. And before we get into that, RJ is out. So that's an additional spot for the LCQ race. And now that makes it RJ, Casey, Hymus, Dax, and Joey all out. So they're taking 7 guys from the LCQ race. But I did learn that the LCQ is going up to 10 guys. So there is going to be a little bit more of a battle for that last spot. And Wageman and Ryder Floyd are going to be those 2 guys that are added to the LCQs. For my predictions, I think it would be easier to say who doesn't make it, and I think that's going to be Ryder Floyd, Maddie, as well as Sanford. I expect Wageman to do a little bit better than those guys and get maybe like the last spots, or maybe Cole Thompson gets the last spot. Everybody that made it from last week, I think, gets in again, and then just Wageman. That's kind of what I'm going with. We got to figure out something for these LCQ for the 250 class, at least. The 250 class seems to have a lot more injuries than the 450 class, which is kind of surprising because I feel like every year it's usually the 450 class that has a lot of injuries. But this year, for some reason, 250 class is just everybody's hurt. But now let's talk about our over and underachievers. And for my underachiever, I'm going to go with Tommy V. I just have this weird gut feeling that he's going to get like a 5th or 6th. I know he did extremely well in Texas, and Las Vegas is going to be, honestly, the similar type of track with it's going to be super hard packed, blue groove. I just have a weird feeling, and I don't know what it is. I think he's going to struggle a little bit more than in Texas. And my overachieve is actually going to be Jalek Swoll. He crashed, obviously, in round 1 and got that major concussion. I did look at the entry list, and he is entered for this race, so I'm assuming that he is coming back. I don't know what placing yet. Maybe that 5th or 6th for Jalek would be ideal. Maybe a top 5 would be ideal. I just have a feeling he's going to overachieve here. He's going to ride extremely well. So don't be surprised when it happens, all right? Don't be surprised. And then for my biggest surprise of the weekend, Pierce Brown is going to get a top 4. He rode extremely well in Texas. That second moto, he went from dead last to 5th. Dead last to 5th on that track. Insanity. So the boy, Pierce Brown, is going to get a top 4. A top 4. You guys heard it here. Now we got to talk about our podium. And like I mentioned, Tommy V is going to struggle, and he's not going to be on the box. So now who's going to replace him? And for me, another surprise kind of is going to be Juju. I think Juju comes out swinging and he gets a 3rd. Okay, I think he gets a 3rd place overall. I got the boy Joe getting a second place, and then I have Deegan going 1-1, sweeping the entire thing. He's way too dominant to pick otherwise. I like that podium. All right, Juju did extremely well in Charlotte. He did pretty well in Texas, going 5-6. I don't know. I just kind of see it with Tommy V maybe struggling. Juju might get on the box. That's all I got to say. But now let's talk about the 450 predictions. And the fastest qualifier for me is once again going to be Jet Lawrence. I don't think anybody's going to beat him in qualifying. I mean, last week alone, he was 0.7 on his brother. He was 1.2 on Tomac and 1.7 on Chase. You know how ridiculous that is in qualifying? Yeah, Jet's going to get top time once again. Mark it down. It's going to happen. And now for the LCQ, from my understanding, they're still going to only take 2 guys. Barsha and Anderson are back, so I believe they're only going to take 2 guys, okay? Last week, it was Colt Nichols and Dean Wilson, which I correctly predicted. Now, this week, they're only taking 2, and Justin Hill is coming back based off of the entry list that I saw. So this one's going to get kind of dicey. I think it's those 3 riders are going to be top 3. If I had to choose the top 2, I'm going to go with the boy Dean Wilson making it in and Colt Nichols making it in. I think Justin Hill is really, really good, and I think he could potentially get to that spot. I just like how Dean's been in it and Colt's been in it for back-to-back weeks and they made it through. But now let's talk about the under and overachieve for 450. So I originally had Justin Cooper as my underachiever for this week. However, there are rumors that he's not going to be racing due to his collarbone injury. I knew he had it, but I thought he was going to be racing. That's why I was going to choose him. However, with that being said, this might be a bold prediction, but I think Hunter Lawrence is going to underachieve at Las Vegas. I think Hunter comes out and maybe goes 4-5. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I think he's maybe going to be like struggling a little bit. He has been riding great the last 2 weeks, so I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't happen and he still contends for that top spot, that first place. But I just have a gut feeling that he's going to kind of struggle, maybe go 4-5, maybe 5-6 overall. All really kind of depends on that first moto. I think if he has a bad first moto, it might lead to an average second moto. But yeah, it's kind of a bold one, but that's what I'm going with. So my overachieve is going to be Ken Roczen. And I have this weird gut feeling that he's gonna kind of maybe play spoiler and he's gonna get a podium. And that's also my biggest surprise, is Kenny getting a podium. Last week, similar to Pierce Brown, he went from dead last to 6th place in the 450 class. That's extremely tough. The Las Vegas type tracks and the Texas track from last week suits Kenny's style so well. He's very, very methodical on the motorcycle. And so I think this track is just going to suit him really well. And don't be surprised, like I said, for him to get a podium. That's all I got to say. Just don't be surprised. And now for the podium of the 450 class. And this is probably the toughest decision that I have to make here, and I probably will get roasted in the comment section. All right, I'm gonna go with Eli Tomac 3rd, Jet Lawrence 2nd, and then Chase Sexton 1st, baby. Chase is gonna get it. Chase is gonna win the championship, and that's all I gotta say. But we also gotta talk about the 250 Futures All-Stars, and this includes the like of Drew Adams, Cole Davies, Landon Gordon, Landon Gibson. And I think this race is going to be super, super exciting. Drew Adams is a demon right now in the amateur scene. But don't be surprised to see Cole Davies up there on the top spot. All right. We all saw him in Supercross this year, and he was really, really freaking good. So don't be surprised to see him on the top spot. I'm going to be rooting for the boy Jeremy. He's from Arizona, just like Brody Moss. So I'm definitely going to be rooting for him. But yeah, I think the 250 future class is going to be insane. I can't wait to watch this. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below who you guys have winning. Thank you guys so much for all the love on this. And I just appreciate anybody stopping by, leaving a like, watching this. It means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the reactions in a couple days. And I'm out. Peace.